This episode is brought to you by Patriot Gold Group. Protect your retirement assets. Speak to the experts at Patriot Gold. They're the top-rated gold IRA dealer for 7 years in a row. Think about that. They've been the top-rated gold IRA dealer for 7 years in a row. Go to patriotgoldgroup.com or call 1-888-621-3856 for a free investor guide. It's Wednesday, 19 June. Welcome to the PDB Afternoon Bulletin. I'm Mike Baker, your eyes and ears on the world stage. Let's get briefed. First, Israeli-American relations hit a new low this week after Prime Minister Netanyahu accused the Biden administration of withholding weapons and ammunition, causing U.S. officials to lash out at the Prime Minister and cancel a critical meeting regarding Iran. Okay, toddlers, let's stop bickering, shall we? We've got important things to do. Also, staring down a more unified Europe than ever before, Vladimir Putin is escalating his harassment and destabilization campaign against the NATO alliance's newest members, Sweden and Finland. But first, our afternoon spotlight. Beginning with Israel, Prime Minister Netanyahu caused a bit of a diplomatic incident with the U.S. after accusing the Biden administration of withholding military aid in a video released on Tuesday. As you may recall, the Biden administration paused the delivery of a certain munitions package in early May, saying they feared the bombs could cause civilian casualties in Rafah. But the administration has not yet instituted a more sweeping ban on arms transfers that Biden had threatened if Israel mobilized a full-scale invasion of Rafah. Keeping that in mind, Netanyahu's accusation appeared to cause widespread confusion within the Biden administration. Speaking directly to the camera in the video, the Prime Minister criticized what he called, quote, bottlenecks regarding arms transfers, adding, quote, it's inconceivable that in the past few months, the administration has been withholding weapons and ammunitions to Israel. He went on to invoke Winston Churchill, saying, quote, Churchill told the United States, give us the tools, we'll do the job. And I say, give us the tools, and we'll finish the job a lot faster, end quote. Officials at the White House reiterated on Tuesday that only one shipment of 2,000-pound bombs was under review due to concerns around civilian casualties, but that all other weapons shipments were moving as planned, according to an exclusive report from Axios. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre appeared baffled by the accusations, and she never appears baffled, saying, quote, we genuinely do not know what he's talking about. We just don't, end quote. Behind the scenes, however, U.S. officials were reportedly enraged by the video and shocked by what they described as Netanyahu's seeming ingratitude to the administration for their continued backing of Israel's military offensive. The White House has faced growing pressure from congressional Democrats to cut off or condition military aid to Israel due to civilian deaths in Gaza. But so far, the White House has not bowed to their demands. The White House initially responded to Netanyahu's comments through U.S. envoy Amos Hochstein, who is currently in Israel for discussions regarding Hezbollah, who personally delivered a message to Netanyahu admonishing him for the video, calling it inaccurate and out of line. Hours later, the Biden administration canceled a planned meeting at the White House on Thursday with senior Israeli security officials regarding Iran's nuclear program. Now, given the gravity of that topic for that meeting, canceling, I suppose some could see it as a bit petty. An unnamed U.S. official told Axios, quote, this decision makes it clear that there are consequences for pulling such stunts, end quote. Again, okay, how about perhaps both sides need to be less thin-skinned given the current global situation? The Israeli delegation was reportedly already en route to Washington when the meeting was canceled. A senior Israeli official told Axios, quote, the Americans are fuming. Bibi's video made a lot of damage, end quote. The incident did come amid a report from the Wall Street Journal on Tuesday that the Biden administration has not moved ahead with the sale of 50 F-15 fighter jets to Israel, worth roughly $18 billion, despite securing congressional support late last month. An official with the State Department said there was no policy of slowing down weapons transfers and that they were simply, quote, looking tactically at the timing, end quote. So we're not slowing anything down, we're just being tactical. Now, the canceled meeting would have been the first time senior Israeli and U.S. officials have spoken regarding Iran's nuclear program since March of 2023. The meeting was announced in the wake of an alarming report suggesting Iran may be further along in the weaponization process than previously thought. At least one U.S. official said that the meeting would be rescheduled given the importance and timeliness of the subject matter. This is the second time this year that a high-level U.S.-Israel dialogue has been canceled over diplomatic tensions. In March, an irate Netanyahu canceled a meeting after the U.S. failed to veto a UN Security Council resolution calling for a permanent ceasefire. The incidents underscore the widening divide between Netanyahu and the Biden administration, particularly as optimism dwindles regarding hopes for a ceasefire. Coming up after the break, Vladimir Putin is escalating his harassment and destabilization campaign against the NATO alliance's newest members, Sweden and Finland, sending military aircraft this week illegally into their airspace. I'll be right back. Welcome back to the Afternoon Bulletin. Tensions between Russia and Nordic countries continue to escalate following the addition of Sweden and Finland to the NATO alliance. This week, both countries are reporting that Russian military aircraft illegally entered their airspace, leading to swift interceptions. Sweden reports that late last week, a Russian tactical bomber entered their airspace off the southern coast of Gotland, that's an island in the Baltic Sea, without permission. The Swedish Armed Forces deployed two JAS-39 Gripens, multi-role fighter aircraft, to intercept the intruder that flew 3 miles deep into Stockholm's airspace. Russian aircraft reportedly ignored verbal warnings from the Swedish Air Combat Command. The Russian bomber was ultimately forced out of Swedish airspace. Sweden's Air Force Chief, Jonas Wickman, condemned the violation, stating that it demonstrated a lack of respect for Swedish territorial integrity. Well, he's not wrong there. Defense Minister Paul Johnson echoed this sentiment, saying, quote, "The Russian behavior is unacceptable and unprofessional." And once again, he's not wrong. Johnson went on to praise the swift response by the Swedish armed forces. The last violation of Swedish airspace by Russian aircraft took place in March of 2022, when two Su-27 fighter aircraft and two Su-24 tactical bombers crossed into their territory. Russia, as you might imagine, has not yet responded to the allegations from Sweden. Now, Finland is also reporting a suspected violation of its airspace. This one allegedly occurred on the 10th of June. Finnish authorities claim two Russian bombers and two fighter jets breached their airspace near Loviisa, a small town around 50 miles from the capital of Helsinki. The breach lasted for about 2 minutes. Finland's chief of defense stated that they're taking the suspected territorial violation seriously and that an investigation has been launched. Now, Russia has responded to the accusation from Finland, claiming that the four-plane patrol was operating in the airspace over the neutral waters of the Baltic, the Barents, and Norwegian seas. Moscow released footage of two strategic bombers taking off, accompanied by 3 Sukhoi aircraft from the Russian Air Force and Naval Aviation. For approximately 5 seconds in the video, at least one Finnish Air Force FA-18C Hornet was seen monitoring the Russian aircraft. The Russian Defense Ministry stated that, quote, "At certain stages of the route, the long-range bombers were accompanied by foreign fighter jets," end quote, without providing further details. The last time that Finland reported a violation of its airspace by Russia was in August of 2022, when 2 MiG-31 interceptor jets breached their territorial boundaries. And that, my friends, is the PDB Afternoon Bulletin for Wednesday, 19 June. If you have any questions or comments, please reach out to me at pdb@thefirsttv.com. In the event you prefer an ad-free experience, well, be sure to check out our premium membership at pdbpremium.com. I'm Mike Baker, and I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, stay informed, stay safe, stay cool.